Today I'm going to introduce our speaker. Sean D'Angelo Walton is from Atlanta, Georgia. He moved around as a youth from Hateville to College Park and Tri-Cities and East Point, where he finished middle school and graduated high school. He began college at Payne College in Augusta and finished at Morehouse in 2012 with a degree in early childhood education. At 14, Sean was vice president of the DeKalb County Youth NAACP. He began to canvass communities to share information about legislation and travel to protest the Confederate flags hanging on Capitol buildings. In college, he helped organize marches on the end of horrific incidents such as the Jena 6, Oscar Grant, Trayvon Martin, and Troy Davis. On September 22nd, Sean was protesting with a large group, which included Reverend Lynn Hopkins, who has been a guest at this pulpit. After giving an enraged speech and crossing the police line, he was, I don't mind if I share this, beaten and tased, and then taken to a Butts County holding cell. During this time, and after being released, he reflected on refocusing his energy to more proactive measures. Sean serves as a neighborhood planning unit for his community for the city of Atlanta. In this position, he acts as the liaison for the community area under the district he serves in, and he works in community development and outreach. He has been named one of the top 20 community leaders in Atlanta and one of the 10 young activists from around the world who are changing the world. Sean is also the founder and executive director of We Cycle Atlanta, a domestic nonprofit in the heart of Atlanta. He provides practical solutions to everyday concerns in West Atlanta by using cycling and urban agriculture as a vehicle to promote work ethic, health, economics, environment, and leadership. This is also known as the We Cycle Wheel program. His program, 40 Hours in a Bike, offers an opportunity for citizens to earn a bicycle and bicycle education by completing community service in the Asheville Community Garden. Please welcome to our pulpit, Sean D'Angelo Walton.
That's me? First and foremost, I want to take time to give thanks to the opportunity that is life, for being here, to be able to breathe, to be able to speak, to be able to look at you guys from this place, and to be content and to be happy. So I want to thank God for that. I want to thank Rebecca because this is my first sermon. You know, and she, I guess, chose me to speak or allowed me to speak in front of the congregation today because I'm a host. I host open mics, so people expressing themselves, doing poetry and stuff. And she said, "Hey, you should." I was like, "Really?" I was like, "All right," but I guess I'm pretty awesome. I don't know. I want to thank my friend Kristen, who has been in my life since high school. She helped me through accounting class. We're not going to say how. But she's also, she got me here, and I really appreciate you for being here for a very large span in my life and very near and dear times. What I wanted to talk about today is something that has merely been going through my mind throughout my life, throughout my journey. As I was growing up, I was raised in the Baptist church. If anybody's familiar with the Baptist church, it can get you emotional. Amen? Amen. It can get you really emotional, and I stayed there for a long time as a child. I would always place myself in children's church. The adult word, was always a little too much for me. So I like to color my Jesus. You know what I'm saying? You know, I like to fill in the blocks when it comes to spirituality, you know? Then I spent some time, you know, you go through college, you start getting exposed to more things, more people, more, you know, environments. And I was introduced to the concept of being an Israelite or a Hebrew Israelite. So I spent some time being a Hebrew Israelite as well. I even took a trip to Israel and stayed for about 3 weeks and really got that experience. Israel is nice. All right. I've also taken a Shahada and, you know, given my life in submission to Allah as well. So I've been Christian. I've been an Israelite. I've been a Muslim. And so as I stand here today, I'm coming without any labels, but to just reflect on that story and to also reflect on the permeating thought that I've gotten from these experiences. The focal point of this message today is the orientation of religion, all right? It's the orientation of religion. The need for a we cycle. Rebecca had asked me, should I prepare some type of reading for you guys to meditate on before we get into this? But I was like, you know, it's my first sermon. No. If we could just focus on, you know, the number 10. And the number 10 is my favorite number. The number 10 is my first baseball jersey. Any guys in here or any ladies in here played sports and just really held on to that number? No? All right. I'm that guy. So I held on to the number 10. And as a child, I liked the number 10 because A, it was the first number that represented me in a team. And then the number 10 also represented, anybody else knows where the 10 shows up really frequently? Just on your fingers. Yeah. All right. Shows up on your toes. In regards to our society, where does the number 10 show up? Anybody? In the what? Commandments. In the commandments. There's 10 commandments. All right. Boom. All right. Yeah. She got it. I think about as well as the Olympics. When you do something so well, you receive if you're dancing with the stars and you really hit that tango, you get a 10. So 10 kind of symbolizes what it means to be well-rounded overall in this society. So 10 was my favorite number. So as we focused on 10, and as I've journeyed through my life in different religions, I realized that in my constant search for truth and the universality of these religions, that one of the common threads has not been in the morality or in the prophets or in anything or whatnot. And this is not to negate any spirituality or religion, but I realized through my own personal journey that I had possibly been taught an orientation that had affected how I dealt with people. Let me explain that. We're focusing on 10. You have two numbers in the number 10. What are those numbers? 1 and 0. All right? 1 reflects the orientation that I've been taught. 1 is vertical. All right? So as I begin to reflect on my relationship when it comes to different people, different things, different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different religions, I viewed them through a vertical orientation. Now, where did I get that vertical orientation from? I got it because my God was always above. and the devil was always below. All right? So if you get anything in regards to a type of foundational knowledge or subconscious foundational knowledge from religion, you know that God is above and the devil's down low. All right? So as I dealing with people, ma'am, sir, I look at you, whether you're a beggar or a CEO or a teacher or a politician or whatever it may be, you're either above me or beneath me, all right? I also realized what was problematic in regards to my God being omnipotent, all connecting and all seeing, and I also being a reflection of God. So in this vertical orientation, I also realized that if my God is all connected and all seeing, that sometimes that may be impossible to grasp in my life as I try to be more like God if I have this vertical orientation. Let me give you an example. I hope this thing is recording because I like to walk off because I am a host, so I have to be really comfortable with the people that I'm with. I need a dad and a child, or a mom and a child who's willing to pick their child on their shoulders. All right? All right. Are you sure? Are you sure? All right, so okay. All right. So I was again, we're talking about the orientation, the foundation of it. You have to look at people higher or lower, and we're talking about a God who in practice is supposed to be all-seeing, all-connected, as well as omnipresent. So I want you to go ahead and put him on top of you right here. I want you to look at that crowd, and as we reflect on this orientation of vertical, I would like for you guys to collaborate to let me know how many blind spots you have.
Well, it's awful hard to see behind you. You can't move fast.
All right. Can you see all the way above you without interruption?
No.
All right. Can you? Would it be safe to say that you have a blind spot behind you as well?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So this is vertical orientation that I've known or applied to, how I view some of the religious aspects. Y'all give them a round of applause. Y'all have a seat, all right? All right, so that has much to do in regards to the perspective, all right? As I relate, again, this is my journey, so in our universalism, I'm just sharing with you where it is that I'm coming from. Maybe it'll resonate. So I then think about, well, if it's problematic that my vertical orientation leaves me with a spot of blindness or a place where I cannot see to consider someone, or if I think someone is above or below me to where I may not necessarily be more inclined to speak or talk or help or relate to that person, I saw that as problematic in regards to me being a reflection of the God that I'm supposedly supposed to serve, who's omnipresent, all connected, okay? Again, 10. You have your 1, your vertical orientation. Now, we're gonna focus on the 0. And this is another orientation that I really, really, really enjoy. 1, because I ride a bicycle. And you can't ride a bicycle if you don't have that little circle, all right? But I really like it because the 0 is a very selfless number. But it's also a very connected number. It's a very connected number. In 0, there are no blind spots in regards to your respective. I need 5 people. Not all at one time. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 will do. All right, so I would love all of you guys to stand very close. All right, maybe hold hands as well. All right. Now, as I relate to, the vertical orientation, I also want to go into what I would like to call as a horizontal orientation. Can we spread out? Now, I had begun to reflect on why is it that people can't get on the same page in regards to doing the right thing. Especially when, if we're existing on this earth, one of our main points and objectives is to find joy, happiness, content, be content. And so what I'd realized is that we, a lot of times as individuals, we scorn how people find their joy. We scorn them because the way that they choose to find their joy, you either look down on it or up to it. Now, when you come to the horizontal and the circular orientation of spirituality, I believe that it places joy in the center, and that this circle becomes the spectrum of people and how they obtain joy, whether it be, and I am very liberal to a sense, so whether it be smoking weed, whether it be meditating, whether it be jogging, whether it be reading, whether it be football games. Football's back. All right. But it is the way that they find joy. And so what does this circle do in acknowledging how people find their joy? Well, first and foremost, it lets you know that we're all connected. So whatever way in this circle that you choose to find your joy, or you choose to find your joy, or you choose to find your joy, one thing, it's visible. And it's all connected. And we can all understand, because we're in this horizontal and circular standpoint, this communal standpoint, that in the center of all of our things, we know that everyone is searching and looking for their joy. And we can understand that and see that a lot more better as we are horizontal, eye to eye, and not looking for somebody up or down. And I also, again, because we talked about how we are in God's likeness from the vertical standpoint and how there may be some blind spots. So we're here. All right. Are there any blind spots in a circle?
Well, collectively, no, but I have a blind spot behind me.
Exactly. But we got your back covered.
You're all a good folk.
No, I mean, but seriously, and this is why, and this is, I like to dwell in practicalities. Like, what does what I'm learning, listening to, actively teach me that I can apply, and it makes so much sense that it's almost inevitable to not understand. So if we are in this circle, and we are trying to be in the image of God, and God is everywhere, and God is omnipresent, and our circle and ourselves individually represent that God in this community, and God sees everything. Can we see everything? Can I see your back? Do I got your back? Let me see. Can I see? There's no blind spot there. Is there? Can you see the dangers coming from behind me?
Yes.
Can you see the dangers coming from behind me? Can you see the dangers coming from behind her? That's why the circle is so important. That's why, and kids, Kids, you may not understand this right now, but oh my God, your circle of friends. Your circle of friends will be the most important thing that you will ever experience in your life. Because even though you may have this circle, you still want to make sure that the person is cognizant enough to even let you know that there's something going on behind you. Because some friends won't. That's a whole nother story. I'll save that for middle school. All right. You guys have a seat. Y'all give them a round of applause. And so, I'm not going to keep you short. This is like my first sharing of what I've come to understand and delivering it to a way that I would like to have you guys meditate on. If you get anything from this, just reflect on the number 10. Now, is there something wrong with the vertical orientation? Not necessarily. Is there something wrong or perfect about the zero or horizontal orientation? Not necessarily. But you're going to have both. And in that one and that zero, you are going to have at least a good sense of balance. Because you are yourself as an individual and you are yourself as a community. And that's what I believe that the number 10 represents. And where we fall short in society is that we may possibly, just possibly, have too many ones. We may have too many ones, not enough zeros. That's my time. My name is Sean D'Angelo Walton. Peace. All right.